Interview 1.
Welcome to Global Beverages. Today, we're discussing the evolution of coffee culture with Mr. Daniel, a coffee enthusiast and cafe owner. Thank you for joining us, Daniel.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Coffee has been around for centuries, but we've seen a significant shift in how people consume it. Why do you think coffee culture has evolved so much?
I think the evolution of coffee culture is largely due to globalization and the rise of specialty coffee. People today are more knowledgeable about coffee, and they're interested in where it comes from, how it's grown, and how it's brewed. Coffee is no longer just a quick drink to start the day. It's now a social and cultural experience. People go to cafes not only for the coffee itself, but for the atmosphere, the community, and the opportunity to relax or work.
That's true. How have cafes adapted to this new demand for a more immersive coffee experience?
Many cafes have started focusing on offering unique and high-quality coffee beans, often sourced from small, sustainable farms. They're also paying more attention to how the coffee is brewed, whether it's through pour-over, cold brew, or espresso methods. Additionally, cafes are creating more welcoming and creative spaces where people can gather, work, or simply enjoy their coffee in a relaxed environment. We've seen an increase in customers who prefer to spend time in cafes, using it as a third space outside of home and work.
How has the demand for sustainability impacted coffee culture?
Sustainability has become a major focus in the coffee industry. Consumers are more conscious of the environmental and social impact of the products they buy, and this includes coffee. Many cafes are now offering fair trade and organic coffee options using eco-friendly packaging and supporting ethical farming practices. This shift is not only good for the planet, but also for the farmers, who are often paid a fairer price for their crops.
Where do you see coffee culture heading in the future?
I think coffee culture will continue to grow and evolve. We'll likely see even more innovation in how coffee is brewed and consumed. I also believe that the trend towards sustainability will continue, with more cafes focusing on reducing waste and supporting ethical practices. Additionally, we might see a rise in coffee tourism, where people travel to different regions to learn more about coffee farming and production.
That's an exciting prospect. Thank you, Daniel, for sharing your insights into the evolution of coffee culture.
Interview 2.
Welcome to Health and Nutrition. Today, we're speaking with Ms. Sarah, a nutritionist, about the growing trend of plant-based diets. Thank you for joining us, Sarah.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
Plant-based diets seem to be gaining a lot of attention lately. What do you think is driving this trend?
There are several factors contributing to the rise of plant-based diets. First, people are becoming more aware of the health benefits associated with eating more fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Studies have shown that plant-based diets can reduce the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. Second, there's a growing concern for the environment. Many people are choosing plant-based diets because they have a lower carbon footprint compared to diets that rely heavily on meat and dairy products. Finally, animal welfare is also a motivating factor for many individuals, as plant-based diets minimize harm to animals.
That's interesting. What are some of the common misconceptions about plant-based diets?
One of the most common misconceptions is that plant-based diets don't provide enough protein. In reality, there are plenty of plant-based sources of protein, such as lentils, beans, tofu, and quinoa. Another misconception is that plant-based diets are boring or restrictive. However, there's a wide variety of plant-based foods available today, and with the rise of plant-based alternatives like vegan burgers and dairy-free cheeses, people can still enjoy their favorite meals without relying on animal products.
What advice would you give to someone who is considering switching to a plant-based diet?
My advice would be to start slowly and make small changes. You don't have to go completely plant-based overnight. Start by incorporating more plant-based meals into your diet and gradually reduce your intake of meat and dairy. It's also important to make sure you're getting all the necessary nutrients, so I recommend working with a nutritionist to create a balanced meal plan that meets your needs.
Do you think plant-based diets are a passing trend, or will they continue to grow in popularity?
I believe plant-based diets are here to stay. As more research emerges about the benefits of plant-based eating, and as more plant-based options become available in restaurants and grocery stores, I think we'll see even more people adopting this way of eating. It's not just a trend. It's a lifestyle change that offers numerous health and environmental benefits.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your expertise on plant-based diets and their growing popularity.
Interview 3.
Welcome to Tech and Travel. Today, we're discussing the future of space tourism with Mr. James, an expert in aerospace engineering. Thank you for joining us, James.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about this fascinating topic.
Space tourism used to be something out of science fiction, but now it's becoming a reality. What do you think has driven the development of this industry?
There are a few key factors driving the growth of space tourism. First, advancements in technology have made space travel more accessible and safer than ever before. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin have developed reusable rockets, which have significantly reduced the cost of launching into space. Second, there's a growing interest in space exploration among the public. People are curious about what lies beyond our planet, and space tourism offers a unique opportunity for individuals to experience space travel firsthand. Finally, the involvement of wealthy investors has provided the financial backing needed to make space tourism a viable industry.
What kind of experiences can people expect when they participate in space tourism?
The primary experience that most space tourists will have is a suborbital flight, where they can travel to the edge of space, experience weightlessness for a few minutes, and see the curvature of the Earth from space. It's an incredible, life-changing experience. In the future, we may also see the development of orbital hotels and space stations where tourists can spend extended periods of time in space. However, these types of experiences are still in the early stages of development.
What challenges does the space tourism industry face as it continues to grow?
One of the biggest challenges is the cost. While prices have come down, space tourism is still incredibly expensive and is not accessible to the average person. Another challenge is safety. Space travel is inherently risky, and companies need to ensure that all safety protocols are followed to minimize the risks involved. Finally, there are environmental concerns related to the carbon footprint of space launches. As the industry grows, there will need to be a focus on making space travel more sustainable.
Do you think space tourism will become more accessible to the general public in the future?
I believe it will. As technology continues to improve and more companies enter the market, the cost of space tourism will likely decrease, making it more accessible to a broader range of people. We're still in the early stages, but I think space tourism will eventually become a common part of the travel industry.
Thank you, James, for sharing your insights into the future of space tourism.